Historic St. Mary's City came to us about 4 years ago to gauge our interest in the project. They knew at that point that the current Dove as a dockside attraction, was getting up in years. She's nearly 50 years old now, so there's a certain amount of rehabilitation that a wooden boat of that age needs. Other than knowing the Ark and the Dove was the English settlement, at St. Mary's that, eventually led to the state of Maryland. That was about the extent of my knowledge, at that point. It was built in England. It has a lot of characteristics of Dutch trading vessels, of that era. The Dutch had a pretty big influence on boat building in general in that particular period, and we've been really lucky. They built the 70s Dove that Jim Richardson built down in Cambridge was based off of some lines drawings. They're actually on the wall over there behind you, done by William Baker. And William Baker added a lot to our knowledge of marine archaeology, during the time period, of kind of the founding years of the U.S. Really, the really interesting thing about this project for this museum is we've been very focused on 19th, 20th century workboats. I mean, that's pretty much our collection. We have oystering, crabbing, fishing, but all very geared towards, the blue-collar working industry as it pertains to the water rather than, yachting, etc. So, what this does for us is, as the founding ship of the state of Maryland, by the English, it's really that introduction of the European, boat building to this area. It's the beginning. So we have, a lot of log-built vessels that were very much in line with the indigenous, watercraft before the Europeans came. So to be able to curate, the different styles of building, of shipbuilding, and through different eras, not only here but in Europe, and how they kind of melded into hybrids for a while, and then so I think that's one of the big opportunities as far as curation of this build. Something like this, they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a village to build a ship. So yeah, we've got a great group of volunteers here, and they're already chomping at the bit to get after this thing. From a building perspective, it's kind of why people get into boat building. I mean, trundling everything together with wood pegs and big timbers, and it's so while the scale of it is a little daunting, I'd say the excitement far outweighs it.
Yeah. So